right. Do. All right. You know what? I think we'll get going with the show. Just in honor of today's show, I stepped on a Lego right before the start of the show, so I think we'll get going.
And now, on with the show.
Time for bladder check. Check.
Check.
Check. Wait. Screw it. I'm holding it.
It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men.
Podcasting, the final audio frontier. These are the legends of Brown Squadron.
Our computer is picking up a strange signal. Here, sir, you better take a look at it.
The ongoing mission? To explore the Star Wars universe and other nerd culture topics. To seek new content and new cantinas, bars, and lounges. To boldly annoy Scruffy by making too many bad jokes. Welcome to the Hyperspace Heroes Podcast.
All right, and welcome to Hyperspace Heroes, episode 121 or 146 on the Spotchka scale. And this is Brown Leader signing in. All wings report in.
Brown 46 signing in for the first time in almost a year.
Right on. Welcome back, Wade. Welcome
Thank you.
back. Yeah, so Wade, Brown 46, has rejoined us for this episode. Last time he was on was episode 80 of Hyperspace Heroes. We had just started live streaming then. And or at least we're a couple months in, and and you know what, it was funny because when we did when Spotify did their year wrap up and everything, it came across that for audio versions of the show, your episode was our number one played episode.
Which I love. I'm gonna wear that as a badge of honor.
Right on, as we should. So for those that don't know, Wade is are you still doing the 1/4 portion thing of record? I love
so much about that. We're kind of trying to rebrand, regroup, trying to get stuff back together. Kevin and Alex ended up having to take steps back due to personal things going on in life. And, we do this for fun. So it's not like we're trying to make money or anything like that off of it. So, and then with my move to Chattanooga and taking on opening the world's largest bricks and minifig store, it's just been kind of nuts lately. So we just finally started getting back into doing some recordings a little bit here and there. And my new co-host, Devin, he was my best man in my wedding. So we're very close, huge Star Wars fan, huge geeks in general. We're still trying to work out the kinks on scheduling, and so we're still pretty inconsistent on getting episodes back out. So I figure maybe this is a good time to circuit around some of our friends' podcasts and say, hey, we're still here, we're around, we're coming back, do a little tour here. Right on.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, Wade is part of Records of the Republic, and he was doing a lot more back early last year. With stuff, and we wanted to have him back on the show because, like he just said, they're starting to pick up episodes again, which is music to my ears because you guys were a regular part of my weekly rotation, and I absolutely love hearing you guys on the show. So or doing back to getting your show, rolling. But let's jump into the chat real quick a little bit here. So Damien, or otherwise known as actor David Jones, have a great show, everyone. Brown 39 coming in. Wade Carbonites, Wade number one, he's congratulating you. Carbonites is Justin's a pretty cool guy. We promote a lot of his stuff on social. He has his own collectibles line called Carbonites. Cool. Yeah, it's awesome. Pretty cool. Yeah. And that is Brown 71.
So Vince he makes carbonite figures himself?
Well, yeah. So actually, I will pull up my favorite right here. So these are little collectibles that he
That's
does
cool.
in the style of like, a character being frozen in carbonite.
Oh,
And
I love it.
obviously, because it's not Star Wars sanctioned,
Right.
he does his own names and everything. But we're big fans of Carson Tevez, and so
Absolutely.
I had to get the set uh, that has Carson Teva. But what was even cooler was he surprised us for Christmas, and he actually made carbonites of us. And
Oh, how can I buy one?
right. So Vincent is pretty cool. He's got a cool little model. He understands collectors. We had a great episode with him. And
That's
even
awesome.
mint in the box, he understands that whole concept. And not only that, but it's a play on words because there's actually a mint inside there. So yeah,
Brilliant marketing.
it is. He's the kid's got it going on, and it's pretty cool. But so that's Vincent chiming in. And then let's see who paid you to do that commercial just now, right? We love our friends. It's all found family here, and we love our friends, and I love promoting all of our friends. Jeremiah Long, the Carbonites are really cool, and then David Jones, those are super cool, and then Carbonites, thank you, gang, you too, Jeremiah and Damon. So, but yeah, it's been almost a year. Let's see, we're 10 months since we last talked on
Too
air.
long.
And it is, has been absolutely too long. And why don't we go in a little bit more? You kind of talked about it a little bit there, but you had a massive change in life because you were living over in the Carolinas, right?
Yep. Over in North Carolina, and then ended up in April-ish. My uncle out here in Chattanooga had reached out and said, "Hey, I'm looking at opening a bricks and minifigs store." And I said, "You got to be kidding me." And he said, I know you're a huge Lego nut. You're a huge nerd. I think you'd be perfect to run the store for me. Think about it, pray about it, talk with Penny about it. And so we did for a little bit. And I said, all right, let's check this out. So he flew his plane over to pick me up and bring me out here. And we started looking at some spaces, started talking details, and I thought it was the perfect fit. And so I talked with Penny and said, hey, we got to give them an answer because they're looking to open soon and they need to find someone to get in there and get started. And we ended up deciding to say yes. So I moved out here about a month before she did. So she stayed in North Carolina with my parents to help start packing up the house and wrap things up there while I got started over here on the groundwork for the store. And then they moved over, end of July, beginning of August. Is when they moved over, and it's just been hitting the ground running since then with this store.
Right on. And I know, and that's a pretty consuming thing. So is Bricks and Minifig, is that like a franchise situation? And
yes.
So he's the franchisee, and you're the hired muscle, the manager that
exactly
he brought in to run the store. Right on.
Yeah.
Right
so
on.
Bricks and Minifigs is a franchise across the U.S. and internationally. We do have a couple of international stores. We're looking at opening some over near Australia, Japan, Europe. So it's really boomed quite a bit in recent years. But we're a franchise. We're an authorized Lego retailer. So we get new in box stuff that's currently produced by Lego, which a lot of your mom and pop aftermarket Lego shops don't. And then we also specialize in the buy-sell trade model with your used sets, your loose minifigs, bulk pieces, and new in-box retired sets.
Very cool. And you said it's the largest one?
Yes. So your average bricks and minifigs store is going to be more of a mom and pop feel with size and what they have. They're usually around 18 to 2,400 square feet on average, and we are sitting at 6,200 square feet.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So we are the largest. We actually just had, for any Lego fans who are listening or watching, you're probably familiar with Beyond the Brick if you spend any time on social media or on YouTube. They're huge, probably one of the largest Lego content creators out there. And they were actually in this morning to do an interview and do a tour of the store with us. So it was pretty cool.
Oh, that's very cool. Very cool. That's awesome. And for those of you, even if I want to make a suggestion to all our listeners and viewers, even if you don't live in the Chattanooga area, I definitely recommend following them on social, because Wade and his team, that filled my need when you guys weren't recording for a while, was I could follow you on social.
Right.
And I've seen some other bricks and minifig stores, because we have some here in Michigan, and but the social presence, you've taken it up a notch. Not only do you have a bigger store, but I think you have a bigger social presence than a lot of the other stores. And so kudos, definitely give them a follow on one of the socials. It's a lot of fun.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, our goal into going into opening this store was to try and take Bricks and Minifigs as a company to the next level with all of our stores. So we've got some things inside that no other stores have, that we're really kind of laying the groundwork to raise that bar up a bit from the current standard. And social media is no different. I really, really try to be creative. I manage majority of our social media, with a couple ideas here and there coming from staff. I try to leave that open so that if someone has a good idea, we're going to run with it, give it a try, see how it works. But majority of what you see on social media is stuff that I'm coming up with or posting, taking pictures of, just trying to be as creative as I can and have fun with it.
Right on. I'm going to pause right there, because we are bringing in DB. Welcome to the show. And I got to play this.
There she is, Miss America.
I want the Shatner version.
Right. Oh, yeah. Actually, I do have that.
Do you really?
She's grace. She's queen of 50 states. She's elegance and taste. She's Miss United States.
There we go.
Nobody wants to see me chair dancing.
No, I probably agree with that.
Maybe not tonight.
Yeah, that'll be the After Dark show.
That's right. After hours.
DB After Dark.
DB After. Ooh, there's a new segment right there. Right on.
Apologies, I had technical difficulties, so I'm watching you guys on a 4-inch screen rather than a 17-inch screen right now.
Lovely. Wade was just filling us in on about his journeys about opening up Bricks and Minifigs in Chattanooga. And I want to apologize because we were in Nashville when you did your grand opening, and we wanted to get down there, and we were up in Nashville at a convention, but that was the same day I had to interview Billy D. Williams. And I was like,
I understand.
I love you, brother. I love you, brother. But it's like, yeah.
Well, and I remember you guys telling me about that convention, and I really wanted to get out there. And originally our grand opening date was supposed to be earlier. We wanted to push it further up to like September or somewhere so I could make that. And we actually ended up having to open the day after my birthday. So it was a good birthday. That's for sure.
Yeah. Right on. A lot of work for your birthday. But this year, I think it's middle of May this year, but they do a lot of Legos there, and they do a lot of Lego representation of stuff. There's groups that come in, so that's always, and it's just a couple hours from you, so it's always a consideration for you guys to get your name out there.
Absolutely.
As for another store, but let's jump back into the chat really quick. From David Jones, 2 months till Andor season 2. Yeah, we'll talk about, since it's been so long since we talked to you, we'll catch up on the shows we've been watching, what we're looking forward to, and then I think we're going to try to. We've actually never officially done a review of Rebuild the Galaxy, and so we'll kind of wrap the show up with that. But awesome. And then Carbonites, yes sir, I'm pumped to see Krennic back. Yep, he's been in the some of the trailers, and so something a previous show Damien had told us about in a previous show, and he sent me the picture. Bosk is going to be in Andor season 2. There is a blurry picture in the ISD chamber, like their meeting council room, and in the very back you can see Bosk, same outfit. It's blurry. So of course there's technically the chance that it's not Bosk, but
Right.
it's a Transdoshan in the same suit as Bosk in the background of that photo, like he's addressing the ISD committee or something. So
It's
that's
Bosk.
so that is pretty cool. I'm excited to see that. Carbonites. I went to a Bricks and Minifigs in Lexington, Kentucky. Genuinely one of the best Lego experiences I ever had. Your store looks crazy cool. We had it, DB, before you joined on. We had brought up the website. And then unboxing. Welcome to the show, sir. Hello. And then Carbonites. DB After Dark is greater than.
Oh yeah.
Oh, shots fired! Shots fired! I might have to do 2 dad jokes of the week just for that, Vincent.
It's gonna be like the ladies' man.
The ladies, man. And then Carbonites just followed you on IG, Wade. So, yeah, because I was telling everybody that they definitely need to. That's a Wade runs a great social media presence for his store on all the socials, and DB also, he was telling us it's the largest one. That
Really?
is. Yeah, most stores are under 3,000 square feet, and his is 6,200.
Nice.
Roughly. So, yeah, so definitely very cool. Yeah, and then so how many? What kind of hours are you guys open?
Typically, so Monday through Saturday we are open 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and then Sundays 12 to 6. So we are open all 7 days of the week.
Right on.
Which is pretty cool. And we don't have, other than your big box stores like Walmart and Target and Barnes and Noble, we really don't have any competition, especially in the specific niches that we have with our used sets and our loose minifigs. There are a couple of, mom and pop aftermarket collector shops that may have a Lego set or 2 here and there, but there's no shop in the area right now that's just focused on Lego. So it kind of helps narrow where our Lego fans are going.
Right. And I wanted to ask something, because you said that you guys do get new product as well.
Absolutely.
Oh,
we get new in box. Now there are certain things that Lego holds really close to their chest. So like your UCS, your Ultimate Collector Series edition sets, your giant Millennium Falcon and Star Destroyer and so on. Those sets, Lego doesn't like to, they want to protect some of their margins. So there are certain sets that they keep kind of as in-shop exclusives or online for their website exclusive. Sometimes you'll find them sporadically at a Walmart or a Target where they may have gotten returned.
Yeah.
But typically even the big box stores can't get those sets on shelves.
Nice. Yeah. One of our, somebody we work with, Brown 69, he had been approached by them about a franchise up here where we live, and he was telling me that they don't get new sets, so that's why when you said that, it perked up my ears. But yeah, I can understand that. Of course, they're going to hold certain sets close to the vest, and I totally get that. But yeah, so 10 months. There's been a lot of Star Wars. Last time we had you on, we talked about Bad Batch, season 3, episodes 8 and 9. Don't ask me what the titles of those were, because I don't remember.
It's me.
When I didn't take the time to write it down. But they since then we've had we had Tales of the Empire, right? We had
Rebuild the Galaxy,
Acolyte,
Skeleton Crew.
So have you been able to keep? I know you've been busy running the store. Have you been able to keep up on the shows that we've had out since then?
Episode drops are holidays in our household. They're sacred. The minute that they are live, my wife knows, hey, this is the 1 half hour or 45 minutes or whatever that I've set aside each week, even more so than podcasting. I mean, this is the time where I'm staying, because I genuinely, I mean, you guys have probably seen, based on the lack of activity until recent weeks on Twitter, I haven't been on Twitter all that much. Yeah. So I'm out of the loop on a lot of rumors because I've had to be so ingrained in the Lego aspect as a Star Wars fan that I really haven't been able to stay on top of a lot of the news with Star Wars in general like I'd like to. That said, any show or movie that comes out related to Star Wars is always being consumed.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's how it was for me back in the day, like when the kids were younger, and when Battlestar Galactica, the reboot, when that came out, because for a while it was like Friday nights or something, and I'm like, all right, and I I begged the wife, and I was just like, just give me that hour once a week, and she did, thankfully, and the kids were still young enough where they couldn't watch it yet, so it was a little bummed about that, but yeah, know the feeling whatsoever. So what are your thoughts on some of those series that have been out? Wanted to catch up and see what you thought about the different shows.
As a whole, I know we're going to talk about Rebuild, so we can just leave that. I loved it. I'll leave it there. Loved Rebuild the Galaxy. Tales of the Empire, fantastic. Phenomenal storytelling. I love seeing some of the characters, some more backstory on Elsbeth, and seeing a little bit more of Barriss Offee. Absolutely love that. So Tales of the Empire, spectacular. Acolyte is one that might get me in trouble because I know a lot of people weren't like super thrilled about it from what I've heard and seen. I enjoyed it. I didn't find anything wrong with it, especially once I started there were a couple of content creators who were like, watch the episodes in this order instead of the release order. And once you do that, I mean, pieces fall into place a little bit more. There was some struggle in the show. I won't deny, and we didn't get nearly enough Kilnaka, which really, burned my britches up. But I liked it. It was new. It was different. I enjoyed it for that aspect. I tried not to, there were enough negative voices around the Acolyte that I really because we covered some of that. I know Kevin and Alex and I did before we had to kind of take a step back and leave the podcast for a little bit. I know we covered most of Acolyte, and there was a lot more negative out there that I heard than positive. So I tried to be more focused on some of the positives in the show. It's not the best series that they came out with in the last couple of years. I'll say it that way. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the storytelling, fun Easter eggs like Plagueis showing up. I mean, I'm going to love that. I'm going to enjoy that.
Right.
The best show to come out has 100% been Skeleton Crew. I have no question about that. I think Skeleton Crew has raised the bar even from Mandalorian, in my opinion. I think Mando season 1 and 2 really set the bar high for Star Wars shows and showed that Disney can do a good job with storytelling within the Star Wars galaxy. But Skeleton Crew raised that bar further. Skeleton Crew is by far my favorite Star Wars show to have come out.
Right on. Yeah, it's definitely Mando. Just because it was the first is definitely nothing's going to usurp that. And I don't, they could show 12 episodes of Mando and Grogu sitting on the front porch. I don't care. But, playing with frogs, that's fine. But yeah, Skeleton Crew, I think, is sliding into my second favorite spot because it's just the quality.
It's so good.
It is so good. We've got a question for you, Wade,
Yes.
from Carbonites. Question, the Acolyte didn't get a Lego set. That being said, what would be your dream Acolyte set?
That's hard. Looking back at the Acolyte, I think it was more story detective driven than, when you look at Lego Star Wars sets as a whole, typically they're starfighter, starship related. Those tend to be the more popular builds. So it would be hard since we don't see too much. I think we had like one scene where they were chasing through space, but there really wasn't a lot surrounding that. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing the I forget their names now, but the Coven's fortress having some kind of battle scene there, like we see at the end of the series. I think that would be cool. It's really hard. I'm kind of surprised, to be honest with you, that they didn't have a Lego set developed for it before, because that usually is what happens with a lot of Star Wars shows. We had the Onyx Cinder a long time in Lego form before the show actually released, and I know part of that was the show got pushed back a bit. But usually when shows come out, they have at least one or two sets based on sketches and drawings and their makeup of the artwork beforehand that Lego gets a hold of and starts developing sets for, which is also why sometimes in Lego sets we get minifigures that didn't actually show up in the movie or TV show. But I don't know that I would really want a Lego set from Acolyte unless it had Kilnaka. some of the exclusive minifigures like that, I think would be awesome to have.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to get Plagueis in one, even though he had such a minimal role. A couple of exclusive characters like that would be good. I think it would be more minifig driven, kind of like there's a Lego Ahsoka set that's the Battle of Peridea, and it comes with Thrawn and Ahsoka and Morgan Elsbeth and Sabine and Ezra. I think it comes with all 5 of those and a stormtrooper maybe. So 6 characters, something in that kind of build style, I think would fit best for the Acolyte.
That's very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Yeah. With ships, that was one thing that Acolyte, it didn't, that was one of the things. There weren't really those momentous ships. Yeah. And it was funny because there were certain things, there was cool things like Saul's ship that he traveled in. And there were a few little details I liked, but it also felt like, what did I compare it to? It felt like their ship reminded me of an old school camper truck where you've got the pickup truck with the add-on camper that sits in the bed of the truck. And I was like, there just wasn't a lot of momentous like that. They were focused on other things in that show. And as far as we went with it, Scruffy liked it. DB was kind of neutral on it, I think. And then my result was, it was fine. It was fine. Yep. It had a lot of potential. There were some cool things for sure. Kelnaka definitely got underserved for sure. At least we did get some action out of them though in the second flashback episode. So I appreciated that. Cause if they had just left it the way it was, where they did the, they found him dead in the chair, like the guy from Die Hard. It's just
pitiful.
Yeah. But, Skeleton Crew definitely raised the bar for sure. Ubaldo, welcome to the show, sir. And I think he was agreeing with you in terms of Skeleton Crew, because he's also says the bar's been raising very high. I think so. Skeleton Crew showed you what you can do with experienced people. John Knoll was the special effects supervisor, which I think made a huge difference in the outcome of the show. And it goes to your showrunners, their experience. John Watts and Christopher Ford have had experience writing on the big screen, which even on the small screen, Star Wars has got to feel like the big screen. It's very cinematic, very universe heavy, and
which is hard. And we do have to give, I try to give as much grace as possible to these folks working on TV shows, because I think they have a harder challenge than, the movies in terms of trying to still bring us into that cinematic experience.
Yeah. I mean, they're giving us anywhere from a 4 to 8 hour movie broken into chunks. One of the other things that Skeleton Crew did so well was, I felt like, I know there was criticism about maybe one of the episodes could have been combined with the other one when they went to the where the secret lair was, the spa planet. Some people felt they could have been, but I actually thought the breaks felt natural in terms of the storytelling of the stories that they wanted to tell. And it was just a masterclass. And I think it was a great, I've been bummed because it's been sitting on the shelf finished for like a year, and we were bummed that we weren't getting it, but I think it was karma to put it out when it did, because I think it was kind of a palate cleanser for some of the fandom in terms of that Acolyte, for those that Acolyte didn't really resonate with, and it brought us back together somewhat as a fandom, kind of reminiscent of Mando season 1 in a way.
Absolutely. I think it did a lot of good for the fandom as a whole. And I mean, each of the episodes, I feel like they gave the perfect amount of time for character development and to really display where each of the individual characters shine and where their faults are, that sort of thing. I think they did a great job fleshing that out and spacing it. I know a lot of podcasts and people talk about filler, and I don't think Skeleton Crew is one of those. You could say there was even a filler moment in there.
No, some people think at Akron a little bit, but I don't. Every episode was a character development. It was geared for that, to bring that character to the forefront. Everybody got their time. Some people complain that the first episode was a little too slow, but I don't think so. You were world building. That's your world building episode. Yeah. And you start to introduce your characters, and it shows the effectiveness of good script writing, of good, tight script writing to tell a story. without, like you said, without a lot of extra fluff. And a cool thing that Christopher Ford, and we had author Brian Young a couple episodes back, and he did an interview with Christopher Ford and John Watts for a magazine called Script Magazine. So he was focused on script writing in the interview. And these are experienced guys, and you could tell from the interview because they went back and they had written the script, and they did, I don't know how many rewrites, of course, as things developed. But one of the things that they made sure to do was after the actors were hired, because one of the things I enjoyed most about Skeleton Crew was how natural the kids seemed in their roles.
Yes.
Nothing seemed forced or faked or reading their lines. It all felt like those were natural things those characters would say. And it was because after they met the kids and got to know them a little bit, they started rewriting their characters to fit the actors' personalities. So that enabled the actors to bring a much more natural portrayal of those characters. And Neil is their prime example. Neil was a little more of a he was even more shy than what he was in the show. And then the actor would start doing those things where all of a sudden he just run forward like up the hill. And so they started embracing those things and bringing that into the character. Mikey from Goonies, that's what it was. But yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed Skeleton Crew. Plus it gave us for us, it brought back one of the most underutilized ships, which was the B-Wing. And oh man, I was so excited in that finale to see that I've been hashtagging B-Wing supremacy ever since. And it's just been a bit of joy to see that ship in action. It finally got some just due.
Yep. I agree.
For that ship. Absolutely.
I'm not going to say I teared up when all, the New Republic came in. I'm not going to tell on myself. But there might have been some high emotions in that moment, and I couldn't figure out why, but they were there.
Right. The only thing that knocked the finale from getting a 5 out of 5 for me was the fact that Carson Teva did not make an appearance.
So I'm on the flip side of that. I appreciate that when they show all the X-Wing fighters, I didn't recognize a single, because that's one of the things I'm starting to expect now with these shows. When he's popped in for Mandalorian different seasons, and then in Book of Boba Fett, and then in Ahsoka. Now he's becoming more of a regular role, which I really like. But I like that they didn't rely on that.
Yes,
in this show, we didn't really get any of those Easter egg name face characters, which I really appreciated. That to me, I love the show. Despite, not getting any of that.
The show completely stood on its own 2 feet, and kudos and credit, and I'm with you on that. But it's Carson, and I'm such a Carson stan that I just can't. But and there's still hope, because if they do a season 2, maybe, fingers crossed. But we just wanted the bragging rights that we could say Carson's been the only character in every Mandoverse show.
That's fair. Fair.
We wanted that for him. Paul's such a great guy, but
absolutely.
It completely stood alone. And I got to say, I think they were toying with us, because the first time you see the X-Wings when they're on that one moon with the cat owl lady Kim, and that one X-Wing lands, and they do the slow pan and the slow pan and the slow pan to finally show the pilot, because you're like, it's gotta be. Like you said, the expectation is there, right? It's gotta be. And then no, it's some Andy Power, or it was Andy Powers was the actor, but it was just kind of like
maybe next time.
Right, maybe next time. Right. Ubaldo, not to start a war, but X-Wing or B-Wing? To me, I've got to be in the mood. I would honestly say Razor Crest, personally, but yeah, B-Wing for me for right now. B-Wing, just because of Skeleton Crew and all of the.
If we're just pulling ships out, I'm gonna throw the Ghost in there. I mean,
right?
The rules. What limited rules we have? It says X-Wing or B-Wing.
Yeah,
I got to go X-Wing. X-Wing is the staple. It's the classic. It's the starfighter that Luke flew. I mean, this is B-Wings are cool and all.
Right on.
But X-Wings get it for me.
True enough. True enough. Good point. Good point. And then let's see. Looking forward, we have Andor is on the horizon. That's going to start a couple days after Celebration, and so definitely looking forward to see what they every 3 episodes is supposed to be a 1-year jump in time according to the show, and as long as they leave international space banking as a side story, I'm excited for it. What are your thoughts?
I have not stayed on top of Andor nearly as much. I know we're getting an Andor season 2 U-Wing Lego set,
Ooh,
which I'm really excited about because it'll be the only the second U-Wing we've ever gotten in. The color scheme looks different. It looks like it's going to be a different build altogether.
oh wow.
So I am excited about that. My favorite part of season 2, I know this is going to be the case, is going to be K2SO. That's it. That's all I care about. As long as he's there, I'm good. Show's a win because he's one of my favorite droids of all time. But other than that, I have actually been staying fairly rumor free for a lot of upcoming projects. Not on purpose necessarily, but I figure if I either have the time to dig down these rabbit holes all day, or I have no time to even start.
Right on. And folks, you heard it here. There's an Andor U-Wing set coming out, so definitely.
And a buildable K2SO.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, nice.
Like the C3PO and R2, kind of in that same scale, in the Chewbacca. So, and we're getting a buildable chopper, which I know
Nice.
isn't Andor, but I'm really excited for that one
That's
too.
awesome. Yeah, no kidding. I'm gonna have you on more often so we can get these tips.
I got all kinds of rumors and leaks going. This job has had a lot of perks, I found.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I think with there was one theory out there that I enjoyed, which was somebody had posed the question. It wasn't a leak or anything, but it was like, what if Andor uses B2 Emu to put into the body of K2SO and give him that personality? And I was like, oh,
I'm all over that.
I would be all for that without a doubt. Right.
I'm there for it.
Let's see. Unboxing sounds like nice Lego sets. And then Carbonites. Oh, dang, those leaks sound sweet. So yeah, definitely. I've been trying to stay away from it all. It'll be really hard because I'm guessing they're going to show the first couple episodes because it comes out, I think, the Tuesday after Celebration. So if they follow form, they'll probably show the first couple episodes at a panel at Celebration like they did last time. But yeah, definitely looking forward to it. It's definitely going to be, they've got their storytelling down for that series. Pretty tight. Okay, let's go over to, I'll bring this up really quick. Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. And it's a 4-part set, a 4-part series. For now, yes, definitely left it open for sure. And
we are also getting some more sets over the summer for Rebuild the Galaxy.
Oh, snap.
So I don't mean to break any news there, but yes, I've seen the releases for different sets through October of this year.
Nice.
And I know a couple of Rebuild the Galaxy sets are on this list for this summer. So I believe we will be getting some more episodes this summer.
Right on. It's a 4-part series for now, as Wade said, and I personally feel like it's the best Lego one they've done, Star Wars Lego that they've done.
Absolutely,
without a doubt. Dan Hernandez and Benji Sammet are the writers for this, and I was so excited the first time I watched it, the day it premiered, that I jumped on social and I'm like, you need to give these guys more Star Wars shows to write, because yes, there is the Star Wars Lego humor, there is the inside jokes, there is the making fun of Star Wars, certain Star Wars tropes and stereotypes and stuff like that. But at the core of the story is heart, found family, and they just get it. I feel like they get Star Wars through and through.
Well, it's focused on, I mean, the main character, now his name escapes me, but Dev's brother, Sig. Yeah. Sig Griebling. That's right. I mean, he's a storyteller, and he is a fan. I mean, he is one of us. He
Mhm.
loves Star Wars. He loves everything about the galaxy and the stories that have been passed on through the years. And I think they really did a fantastic job of putting little hints in there, here and there. I mean, Darth Jar Jar. I'm so happy that we finally got Darth Jar Jar. And there's even a line where he talks about him being the Phantom Menace. And it's like, okay, you guys get it. You get us. We love these silly. I mean, I'm vindicated. I'm clear. I could die a happy man today because of these stupid things that
Right.
just make me so happy. These are
Yep.
things that we've, looking at Darth Jar Jar. And then what was the other one? There was another really good one. I know Luke, when he's sitting there and Sig is sitting in the cantina describing, the series of what happens through his life, and especially towards the end. And he's like, that's your selling point? Like, that's what you're selling me on? And it's like, okay, yeah, these guys get us as fans.
Yep.
And it makes me laugh now, where I may have had some ugly feelings towards some of those movies. Now I sit back and I'm like, okay, they hear us, they understand, they at least get why we were frustrated about things,
Mhm.
or why we loved this theory, or et cetera, et cetera. The fan service wasn't just fan service, just to be there. It was genuinely listening to us
Right.
and putting it in there because these are things that we've enjoyed or disliked or whatever.
Mhm.
It was a fantastic show.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. From unboxing, I enjoyed the Rebuild the Galaxy series. I think I have all the Lego sets at the moment. He runs a fun YouTube show where it's all unboxing, just like the
Oh, that's
name of
awesome.
yeah, unboxing the boxes. My Star Wars collection. I mean, that's his YouTube show. Ubaldo, I need to start making room for new Lego sets. Awesome. Unboxing again. The Dark Falcon was what caught my attention, along with Darth Jar Jar. Carbonites, awesome. Talking about your description of it, and then fire. So Sig and Dev and the Gonk droid was
Yes.
another part, and then letting him talk, which was
Yep.
hilarious. And then just little details, like every episode, depending on the condition of the Gonk, he would introduce each episode, and it was just hilarious. But yeah, the summary of the story is they're these two brothers, Dev and Sig, and they're on a planet, and they're Nerf herders, which is something we haven't seen before. And they're not scruffy; they're clean cut, but they're Nerf herders. And they find a Jedi temple by accident, and they pull out this one stone that is glowing, and it ends up being the cornerstone, which is what holds reality together. And then, because they pull it, it reshapes reality. And now he's got to find his way. Sig and his Gonk have to find their way through this new galaxy, along with bringing Jedi Bob back, which that's a whole nother Easter egg. And I loved how they even weathered the character, so part of his beard was rubbed off, and
Yep.
and and it's through the journey of now his brother is a bad guy. He's the head of the Sith order. Everybody is playing different roles, except for Princess Leia. She was pretty much the same character.
Yeah, she was pretty much spot on.
Yeah, but it's definitely. And then, like you said, they left it. They had the big climax, the battle where the brothers are facing off with each other, and they leave it open for, and it's a little sad that they couldn't. And spoiler alerts, if you have not watched this, you need to tune out for a couple seconds. But, the fact that he didn't get to go back to his own galaxy. It's for now. And it looks like he's permanently stuck in this one, and he's got to live with those consequences, which is a whole nother Star Wars thing, that we joke about Filoni bringing people back from the dead, but typically in Star Wars, actions have consequences, and they're usually fairly permanent, unless you're Maul, but or Ahsoka or something like that, but
or Boba Fett,
or Boba Fett, right?
We're just gonna scrap that rule. That's not.
Yeah.
It's not really a rule. It's a suggestion.
Characters only are dead only until Filoni needs them for a story plot.
Guidelines.
Guidelines. Yeah. But yeah, what are some other thoughts about Rebuild the Galaxy?
Oh man, from a Lego geek perspective, the sets are awesome. I love the combining X-Wings with TIE fighters. We didn't really get to see a super clear picture on any of the scenes with Darth Dev's TIE Starfighter.
Mm.
But if you get a chance, freeze it. It looks like it's the body of an A-wing with TIE Interceptor wings.
Oh.
So there's some, little stuff like that I absolutely love. I mean, we see the little shuttle ship Lego set from the Andor set that came out, the only Andor set we've had come out, on ATST Walker legs. You see the Jawa crawler on AT-AT legs, and it's got the Jedi Council, who are actually Palpatine and Vader and Cad Bane and Jabba, and and then on the other side you've got guys like Darth Kit Fisto and like Darth Nubs. Like they did it, they got Nubs.
Nubs, right?
That's a minifigure that I desperately want. Darth Jar Jar is cool, but then I saw Darth Nubs and I was like, that takes it to a whole new level. And you get Maul / Lando being combined into one character.
Landalorian, yeah, right on.
Just crazy stuff like that. I mean, the Slave One has Greedo ears because Greedo fills that, just silly, goofy stuff. But from a build perspective, I wish we had gotten more sets than we did. We got the 3. We got Jedi Bob Starfighter, which is a cool callback to, in terms of style, it's kind of like Anakin's Jedi Starfighter in the Tarkovsky Clone Wars series.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good...
The build is very similar, so I've got those set next to each other on my display in my shelves typically. The Dark Falcon's a beautiful build. The X-Wing and TIE Fighter, that's a win. Even though they are smaller, Lego has had this general practice lately that they have started shrinking a lot of these starfighters, and unfortunately not shrinking the price of them. But the TIE Fighter and TIE Fighter and X-Wing being able to swap wings out, the playability is awesome, and it really challenges the creativity of kids as they're going into build, and they're saying, okay, well, if I can swap these, what else can I do with these sets?
Right on. Yeah, it's I did like that component of those sets when they came out with them. Like you said, playability for sure. Yep. Very, very cool. Let's see what we got here. The L3GO Astromech minifigure is pure genius.
Yep, that's the other one. That's a beautiful Easter egg that came in the X-Wing TIE Fighter set. And a lot of people call it the Ronald McDonald Astromech because it looks like McDonald, they just happen to have the same colors, but it's all red, yellow, and white for Lego. So even in their sets, they've got some fun Easter eggs.
Yeah, right on. We'll bring it up right here.
Yep, that's the one.
Oh, where to go? Come on. There it is. So, yeah, right on. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Absolutely. And then we'll bring up, what was the other? Oh yeah, I love that line. Salt on crate, no pepper.
Just silly stuff. I mean, this is Star Wars's What If, and I think it couldn't have been done any better than doing it with Lego. I mean, the component of literally rebuilding the galaxy and shifting it, and the reconstruction of it, I love it. I love it. I love anything that has to do with Lego to begin with, but especially in this mindset, I think I prefer this than even an animated or live action World Between Worlds kind of. This is goofy, it's fun, it's silly. I don't have to put any merit behind this in my thinking. I just get to watch it for pure entertainment. Right
on. You had mentioned something a minute ago that gave me a question, which is, so you talked about, that one Astromech is kind of a rare minifig. But what are some of the rare minifigs that are out there? What is, very cool. Oh, nice.
Yes.
Welcome back to
DB.
Did I miss anything?
Oh, just a few things.
Lego.
Actually, we're talking about Rebuild the Galaxy, so I'm glad you were able to jump back in.
Oh, yeah.
I know you had some thoughts about that. So,
I was just listening to Wade, and this is the only format they could have gotten away with the cool, awesome things that they did.
Yep.
I mean, it just there's no rules, and it made it so entertaining.
And
Absolutely.
DB only just recently watched it for the first time, just like
I
less than a week
did.
ago. Yeah, look at the look on Wade's face.
I'm a busy
You're
man,
kidding me.
Wade.
Well, I just opened the largest bricks and minifigs in the world. I get it, but I mean, it's Star Wars.
I have yet to watch Vision season 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we got Vision season 3 coming out, and we had.
Should I go back into self-exile? Into exile, I must go.
Right. And we had Justin on, so you got to watch season 3 for sure, because Justin did a lot of work on
Yeah,
getting season
I
3,
missed that episode.
bringing season 1, and so there's a company called Cubic Pictures, and for when they do the work with the Japanese animation houses for Visions, he is like the go-between between Lucasfilm and the Japanese. He's done a lot. He's worked for several of the animation houses over for the years. He was also worked on season 1 of Clone Wars. He was brought into Lucasfilm. He was employee number 7, hired to work on Clone Wars, the original creation of Clone Wars season 1. And he was on the interview committee that hired Filoni into Lucasfilm. And
That's cool.
Yeah, he's a pretty
cool.
He's a pretty cool guy. Justin, he was so excited to talk to us. He's like, well, after Vision season 3 comes out, I want to come back on and I want to hear what you guys think about it. So we're going to have him back on the show after that comes out, which hopefully that's another thing we're looking forward to, because that's going to come out this year. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if they, if it's a May 4th drop right after Celebration, since it's taking place in Japan. They went for season 3. They went back to all Japanese animation houses, 4 of them returning from season 1, including the house that did the Duel. So I'm hoping for maybe a part 2 of the Duel. That would be pretty dope. But
would that be the Duel?
The Duel, yes.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. That'll be Harry Carey after the Duel. But yeah, DB, a few more. I know. What were some of the things that you thought about Rebuild the Galaxy when you finally watched it?
I kind of had this idea going in that, okay, the bad guys are going to be good. We're going to flip the worlds. But the way they did it was so brilliant. I mean, just the introduction of Darth Jar Jar, which I wish they would have expanded on more. And Sheev as, the good Jedi, and kind of a wuss, actually. I don't want to do that.
Jedi.
Cowardly Jedi. There you go. And to see a white Vader, that's something I haven't seen since the Infinities comic book years and years ago. I mean, and Luke is a surfer dude, and the fact that they got so many of the original actors to voice their characters, right down to Kelly Marie Tran. Good for her. Mm-hmm. Get back in there, just like Ahmad Best, and accept you're part of this,
Mm-hmm.
and to hell with the other people that just want to be evil. I mean, what a great concept. And I don't know if I want to give away, the little spoiler at the end, but brilliant.
No. We've talked about it, so you're good.
Oh man, the Landalorian! Mm-hmm. I heard that voice and I went, "No way!"
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just what a distinctive voice!
Right?
How awesome was that?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, it was impressive with the voice cast that they got for that. I mean, they pulled all stops, and like Wade mentioned, it was their What If series.
Absolutely.
And which is what fans have been clamoring for. It's always, they need to do What If, just like Marvel. They need to do What If. And I'm like, I've never been a proponent of the What If, only because in the Star Wars universe, we have headcanon, and that's our What If, personally. And that's what I see as our What If. And, but I think they nailed it. I think they, like Wade was saying, it's told from the perspective of a fan, because Sig is a fan, he's a storyteller. And they just get it. They just absolutely get it.
They totally, and the little things like Darth Devastator's ship was the Separator, literally called the Separator. Mm-hmm. Wow, it's like, wouldn't you like to be in the writer's room? It's kind of like being in the writer's room for a SpongeBob episode, just wondering how big that fatty was that they rolled, because it's awesome.
Everything is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on, right on. So, yeah, definitely. And then you were you missed some of the Lego sets. They're going to be releasing more. Wade was sharing with us that they're going to be releasing more Rebuild the Galaxy Lego sets coming up.
Oh, sweet.
Than the 3 that they had.
Yeah, when I went into the black hole, you were talking about Acolyte sets, and my first thought was, I want a Jackie, a hole punch Jackie,
the whole bunch, Jackie,
and I want Yord with no neck. Okay, those would be the minifigs I would want right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Wade, I was going to say this when we were talking about it, but you're in a safe space. I enjoyed the Acolyte.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was fine. Was it their best? No. But that dude from what's that show? Squid Game.
Mm.
Oh,
Yes,
Master Soul.
Yeah,
Master Soul. Brilliant. He knew how to be a Jedi. Yeah.
He did such a phenomenal job with that role.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I thought the acting was really darn good, and I agree with you. We get 2 seconds of Kelnaka.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, I digress.
Well, I want to see more Darth Gun Show. I want to see more of him. I want to hear more of his story and the Stranger and Manny killed that role. I think he deserves more screen time because some of his monologues were just outstanding.
Yeah.
Close to Luthen level, not quite the same, but close. And I think given the right script writer, Manny could in that role, I would watch a series just with him. And I saw in the news recently the actress that played Jackie said she would be open to coming back if they wanted to bring her back to life. It's like, oh, that sounds like a Filoni project. So
no one's dead until you need them, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Speaking of Luthen, did you guys see they said on Variety magazine?
Oh, I saw this.
Did you see that? Variety magazine just posted Stellan Skarsgård's performance as Luthen Rael in Andor Season 1 has made Variety's list of 100 greatest TV performances of the 21st century.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah.
That monologue is amazing.
I want to see more with him and Saw. That was my favorite parts, was the back and forth between the two of them. For sure. That was killer right there. They're just, yeah, for sure. Without a doubt. But yeah, Rebuild the Galaxy. If you haven't watched it, definitely don't be like DB. Get out there, watch it. You definitely, it is worth it. I know Scruffy was wanting to get on this episode, and by the way, he's on special assignment tonight. He is feeling a little loony and not listening in at all. But yeah, he really enjoyed Rebuild the Galaxy as well. And I think we're all in agreement that it's our favorite Star Wars.
How are we doing this interview without Death Sticks?
I know, right?
Not Death Sticks as in episode 2, but Death Sticks as in Brown. What number is he? 69?
69, yeah.
Why did I know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how do we not have him on talking about
Because I banned him. So for deeds and for actions taken in real life at work, I banned him from the show. So
all right.
Just kidding. Awesome. Yeah. Carbonites, I got a dash. Wade is awesome. Have an amazing rest of your stream, gentlemen. Smash that like button. Vincent, have a good night, sir. Vincent. Have a great night. Oh yeah, before you got on, I was showing Wade the whole Carbonites line when we were first going through the chat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he's only like in his mid-20s, I would say. And
he's younger than me.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
He's I think he might be younger than some of my kids. But he gets the whole mindset. When we interviewed him, I couldn't get over the fact that how much he was nailing what collectors are looking for.
That's awesome.
What they value, what they prize. And his sets are only like $15 a set. They're reasonably priced.
That's also awesome.
Yeah. And so he's coming out. He just launched 2 or 3 new series sets He just the Scar group. He just did a set for them, and he's been showing some artwork for the mother, the father, and the son, or the father, the daughter, and the son.
That's cool.
Yeah, and he does all from comics for comic characters to animation to the real movies and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, Vincent was like, I didn't pay for this commercial, honestly, in the comments early on in the show. But so I was starting to ask before, Wade, what are some of the what would you say are the most prized minifigs out there that people are looking for?
It changes. I mean, it does. There are some staples. Let's narrow it down to just within Star Wars.
Okay.
Within Star Wars, you've got some staples: the original Cloud City Boba Fett and Lando. Those two specifically. That Boba Fett was one of the first figures to have arm and leg printing. And it was, at the time, that set as a whole came out with certain pieces and certain colors that had only ever come out in that set and had never been released before. Then you add on top of the fact that at the time, it wasn't that great of a build. It wasn't that great of a set. Star Wars Lego has always struggled with their building, landscape, whatever kinds of sets. Their bread and butter is the ships. And so it wasn't a super popular set at the time. So they did a limited run of them. And then for whatever reason, 5-10 years down the road, people are like, holy cow, this is a set that I really want. Now, if you can get it new in box, you're going to spend about $12,000.
Oh,
It's ridiculous, especially when you look at the piece count. It's not a huge set, but it was very limited, and there were certain aspects of certain characters that they had first introduced with that set. So that's sometimes it. Phase 1 Rex and Phase 1 Wolf, more valuable than Phase 1 Cody, even though they only came out in about the same amount of sets, which is 1 or 2. Cody and Rex, or Wolf and Rex, are $120, $130 figures. Cody's $60 to $70, depending on condition.
Wow.
Some of it has to do with the popularity of the character as that character goes along. Some of it can have to do with the specific printing on that character. If we've gotten a Phase 2, one of the things recently that Lego fans some of them were upset about, and then some like myself were thrilled about. We got the UCS Venator about a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful set, came with 2 exclusive at the time figures, one of them being Phase 2 Captain Rex. It's the first time we've gotten an updated Phase 2 Captain Rex. He was going for $100 on the market until in May when they released the Microfighter Y-Wing with the same exact Captain Rex. Dropped him down to $25 in value.
oh,
So
Wow.
stuff like that can affect minifig value all the time. If they do re-releases and the new print looks better on the new one versus the old one, yeah, the new one may shoot up in value and that old one may drop. If there's some nostalgia wrapped around the old one that pushes people more towards that one versus the new one, that old one may shoot up in value because of the newer one not being as popular. I know I've got a couple of minifigures that are a couple $100 each sitting in my collection right now, just because they only came out, that version of that character only came out. One of them, Agent Kohler, spiky, I forget their, what's their species? It's the same species as Maul, Eth Koth.
Oh yeah,
the spike heads.
Yeah, Dathomir. Yeah, here we
Anyway.
are, Star Wars fans.
Anyway, Agent Kohler only ever came out in one Lego set.
Zabrak.
Zabrak. Yes.
Zabrak, yes. Only came out in one Lego set. It was the Arrest of Palpatine set. Very sought after set. Comes with Agent Kohler, Kit Fisto, Sazy 10, Palpatine, Mace Windu, and Anakin Skywalker. Cool set. Beautiful. This is the only time we've ever seen this character in a minifigure. It's a couple $100. Sazy 10 we've seen in a couple variations. I think the live action version of the printing only came out in that set. We got a couple of sets though with him with the Clone Wars printing. So the live action one is more valuable than the Clone Wars aspect. So it really all depends minifigure to minifigure. We have 5 or 6 minifigures in our case that at the store that are at least $100 to $200.
Wow. That's mind-boggling to me, to someone who is reluctant to pay 40 or 50 bucks for a 4-inch figure, that these little 1-inches are going for 100, 200 bucks. Wow, that blows my mind.
Lego is an investment like none other. My sets, I've spent maybe $1,000 over time collecting the sets that I have, maybe 2. They're well over 7,000 to 8,000 right now, if I just look at the sets and not the minifigures included.
Wow.
So, it's just nuts to see how much Lego goes up in value over time.
And, Death Sticks is Brown 69 has kind of alluded to some of that too, because he's a collector and he keeps up on the website and all that and value and when he can, he tries to get one that he can build and one to leave in the box and all that kind of stuff. And
absolutely.
So that kind of confirms that. So for a long time, Lego seemed to kind of have a consistent pricing structure per piece, so you could expect if it was a 1,500 piece set, it would cost X amount of dollars and so on. And are they kind of making some adjustments to that? It seems like, because
I have told everyone that I talk to, ignore price per piece.
Yeah.
It's at this point, you're going to make yourself more upset looking at price per piece nowadays. Because here's part of it. Part of it is building techniques get better, detail gets better. Mm-hmm. They don't have to use as many pieces to create the same thing, and it still looks just as good, if not better. So there's that aspect of it. They're getting more creative designers who can really come up with some crazy combinations with these pieces and minimalize how much they have to produce. But you're going to be paying for that designer as well. So I always tell people, ignore the price per piece count. Ignore it. Yeah. It's not worth it. It's not worth, worrying about. Yeah. Is it a set you want? Does it have minifigs you want? Buy it. If it's a price that you can afford, buy it.
Because the newest N1 set that came out, it's got a pretty relatively low piece count, and I was like, and they're asking $30 for it, so I was like, that's where I kind of noticed it, because it seemed a little out of whack in terms of that price point, because it was like the same price as the Jedi Bob Starfighter, and
look at the minifig lineup in that,
and that's what's killing me.
Yep,
it's killing me because it's got an R5. And DB can laugh a whole bunch right now, because that's what I collect are R5s, and I'm like, ugh.
He's one of us.
For majority of the Lego sets out there, the value is in the minifigs.
Yeah.
The more minifigs you have, the more value it's going to be, especially if they're minifigs that aren't going to come out in other sets. So you've got the BD droid, which other than that, it's only that molded minifig has only ever come out in the BD1 Lego build for the droid, and it's a different color. So the BD droid in the N1 is got blue markings instead of red. You've got Pelimoto in it. She only ever comes out in that set. We're not going to get her ever again.
Oh,
in another set. She's a side character that's not, enjoyable, nothing on her performance, but it's a side character. It was important to that spot in the Book of Boba Fett. That's it. So we're not going to get much more of her ever again. Mando and Grogu, we're going to get millions of them, because, that's how it works.
So what do you think is going to happen with the original? Is there been a spike on Jedi Bob since Rebuild the Galaxy came out?
Jedi Bob's a tricky one. I don't think the price has gone up too much for the older figure. It's kind of maintained its high value. I don't think it'll come down at any point, but you're talking about the the 4 Plus N1.
Yes.
I was talking about the other one. Yes. Okay. I know what when I think sets, I typically don't think of 4 Plus sets.
Okay.
A lot of 4 Plus sets have larger molded pieces specifically for kids of that age range to be able to build it easier. So that's usually why there's a higher price tag on piece per count for a lot of your 4+ sets, specifically because they've got some molded pieces in there that were probably designed just for that set.
Okay.
Yep. So that's why you'll see you're better off buying R5 by himself. At some point, visit your local bricks and minifigs. I guarantee they probably have one. You're better off buying that individually. But yes, I know what you're talking about now, that newer N1.
Yeah, and that's where I was.
Go ahead.
No, that's what I was saying. That 4+ set is, I've got the one you were describing. I've got that one in the back, and I actually got it on eBay at a really good price. The guy only wanted I think I paid $30 for that set unopened. So
that's about what it goes for.
And you've got the Pelimoto, like you said, and all that. And I've left it sealed, but yeah, it was that 4+ set, and I was just like $30 for that, and just to get the R5, and I'm like,
you're better off finding him individually.
Yeah,
unless he's he may be one of those droids. I haven't looked at R5 recently on any of our marketplaces to see what his value is. But if his value by himself is $25, even 20, I would still buy the set.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you get the other 2 minifigures in with it. But
I don't have a whole lot of Lego sets, but I tell you what, one my daughter and I built a couple of years ago was the ATST Raider from Mando. And it sits proudly on one of the shelves behind me. But I think those are the only 4 minifigs I actually have on display. The rest of mine are still boxed up because I'm timid about opening these things.
I wouldn't be terribly timid about opening Lego as a whole. If you're keeping it in good condition, you're keeping it out of sunlight where it's not going to get faded, I'd say open it, because the value
hold their value.
The value of the minifig, if there's going to be value behind it, there's going to be plenty of value behind it used. Obviously, you're not going to have as much value as if you have them new. But my thing with Lego is, don't buy sets just to sit on. Even used, if they've got, especially if they've got a good minifig lineup, go ahead and open them, build them, experience it, enjoy it. If it's a set, if it's a set that's worth having and collecting, the value of those figures in that set is going to go up. That's how Lego works. I can't.
So the minifig is the driver.
Yes. Yep. Having the minifig, keeping it crack free, that's the driver. Typically, as long as you're not throwing, that's an R5. Look at that.
That's a beauty.
Perfect.
Scruffy found that at ICCC this past year for me.
That's a win.
Yeah.
I think. Sure. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Same one.
Yep.
Right on.
Yeah, I've got I collect astromechs like crazy. So I've got almost every astromech that's been produced.
This is not Lego, but there was a guy that makes these at ICCC. They're miniature, because
that's cool.
Here's a regular R5, and makes them on card back. You can get them loose as well, and I think they're out of South America, weren't they?
He's from Argentina. His name's Juan Pablo, and he brings a ton of these things up to ICCC, and he goes home with no product and a ton of cash. They're that cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I just saw somebody else talking about his product on social just a couple days ago, and I was like, I got the R5, and yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
And the other thing, DB, talking about the value of the minifig, the other thing you need to look at is it a minifig that's being mass produced over the course of multiple sets? If your minifig only comes out in that set and maybe another one, open it. It's going to go up in value. If you're, stormtroopers aren't, but named characters typically are.
But like the Raider I have, it has Mando, and it's got 4 figures, and I think at least 2 of them are just Raiders from whatever planet that is. Like Pelimoto, they probably won't be stuffed into other sets down the line. So you're saying I should keep them protected. I've already got the light curtains in here to make sure nothing.
Yep, that's
fades.
perfect.
Awesome.
That fine.
You just you just solidified my decision to actually put that together. So.
Open your Lego and play with it. If you like Lego, you like build. If you don't like building, don't buy Lego to begin with. But if you like building, open them up, build them, enjoy them. That's what they're there for.
Well, here's the problem. I might enjoy building them, but I also have a daughter who enjoys it more, and she'll push me out of the way.
Well, you buy a set for you, and you buy a set for her, and you guys race.
How rich do you think I am?
I don't know. That's not.
No,
see, that's
actually,
not my problem to figure out.
Yeah, there you go. Now, Wade, when she was small, she liked the Lego Friends line, so we bought her just a ton of those. But then they changed characters, and she doesn't like them anymore. Oh, and she's a teenager, so
yeah. Friends. Once you hit teenage years, you're probably, if you're still into Lego at that point, especially amongst girls, you're probably going to look more into some of the botanical sets, the creator sets, some of the large Disney collectible sets. Those are the ones that really seem to pique their interest.
Yeah, she's moved from the Lego Friends into the botanicals. She loves the botanicals.
Right on. Yeah. Right on. Well, very cool. Okay, one last question, and then we'll start to wrap up here, Wade, for you. What is your Grail piece for Lego?
Are we talking about the white Purrgil that I own, or the white Purrgil that I would like to have?
They made a Purrgil?
No.
There we go. Tell us more.
So, the Holy Grail piece that I've always wanted as a kid was the UCS Jedi Interceptor, the Delta 7. And last year on May the 4th, we went to the Raleigh Bricks and Minifigs grand opening, and that was my white Purrgil. That was the one that I have always wanted above all else, and they had it new in box. I bought it, and I finally got to build it like a month or two ago. So I've had it for a little while. I've been sitting on it, but that was the one just for the longest time. One of my friends in elementary school, her older brother, had that set, and when I went over to their house, he'd pull out his Power Ranger toys and some of his other stuff and let me play with it, and that was sitting on his bedstand, and I wanted to go play with it, and he said, hold on, that one's not for play. And I said, I sat there and I thought, what do you mean? It's Lego, it's a toy, it's got to be for play. And he said, oh, no, this is for display. And that was like totally eye-opening to me, that someone would build something and not play. I mean, I pull my sets down now. I get it now as an adult. Gene, all of his Lego stuff is sitting in my office. This is our Lego room. I get it now because there are times where he wants to play with my Falcon or, Slave One or TIE Fighter. And I'm like, oh, maybe not right now, buddy. I see what's left of your Falcon. I don't want to go through that headache. So I get it. But for the longest time, it was just a foreign idea to me. So that was my white Purrgil. I have that now, and the 2 Old Republic sets that I have were also on that list. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know that there is a set right now that is just something that above all else. I know there are sets that as a collector I should want, because of their value or because of how rare they are, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not into collecting that way. I don't care if I've got, something that everyone else has a copy of. What I collect is what I want to collect, what I want in my, on my shelves on display. Mm-hmm. So I don't really care too much about finding those rare sets that you just can't find anymore. I don't care about any of that. I do want to get the Rivendell set that's out right now. It's a beautiful, beautiful build. And it's got all 7 members of the Fellowship. So really, really love that from a Lord of the Rings perspective. Star Wars, I'm pretty content with my collection right now.
Rock on.
Until some of the new stuff comes out.
Right. Rock on. Very cool. Well, let's jump over to collection corner really quick, and then we'll start to wrap up here.
What is this place? What is it that you do here? Merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Open up this door. Come, Walk this way. Take a look. We put the picture's name on everything. Merchandising, merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
Right on. So, comment from unboxing. I also collect what I want, hopefully at a decent price. Right on. Right on. So,
That's the key.
So Scruffy is not here tonight. Yesterday was Comic Book Wednesday, so in his honor, I will show off the new Bad Batch episode or issue 1, Bad Batch series from Dark Horse, and so yeah, very cool, very very cool. Love the artwork on that. So, DB.
Well, I will also show off my Bad Batch one that was on my desk when I walked in today. And since I didn't get to show it last week, there's my Murder Bears, Volume 4. And not only did I have a comic book on my desk this morning, but some Santa left me a B-Wing Microgalaxy Squadron.
That's cool.
So, yeah, it is. I hadn't seen this in the stores yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you to both of my wingmates there for playing Christmas in February at work. It was kind of awesome to come in and see this stuff today. So,
I actually get the Amazon had those for 15.
Really?
Yes. And I ordered them like less than a week ago. So I couldn't stand it anymore. Post Skeleton Crew. I wanted a B-Wing. I'm actually probably going to bust mine out of. I'm actually probably going to open it and put it together. I'm just that. Oh, there was a question posed earlier in the episode while you were out, which was X-Wing or B-Wing?
Oh, this for me?
Yeah.
Y-Wing.
No, as Wade said, there's rules. And the rules are you have to choose between X-Wing and B-Wing. Because I said Razor Crest and I got corrected.
We broke those rules too. I said Ghost. So.
No, as far as the fighter ships, the Y-Wing's always been my favorite, being sleek and a bit slower. But if I'm forced between X and B, I go with X.
All right, right on. Okay. Anything else, DB?
No, those were the things I have kept my money tight because if I'm going to go to ICCC in May, I've got to stop spending.
Right on.
End of sentence. I just got to stop spending.
Period. Wade, anything that you'd like to show off?
Yeah, I just picked up this at the store. It's been sitting on the shelves for a little while, so I wanted to get this. But this is Pre Vizsla's Mandalorian Starfighter from Clone Wars.
Right on.
And you can see that right there is Pre Vizsla with the helmet and everything, the little cape.
Nice.
He's a $150 figure.
Oh, my.
So
nice.
I picked that one up for sure. And it comes with Obi-Wan. And I picked up one of the red Mandalorian suits so I could do some mock later on. I've got a custom Duchess Satine coming in so I can do some stuff with her and him.
That's awesome.
And then I also picked up these two books, Survivor's Quest and Outbound Flight, finally.
Nice.
I've been wanting to read these for a while. I've learned that, like a lot of Star Wars fans, I love Timothy Zahn. He does such an incredible job. But I've read all of his other books, and I haven't read these two yet. So I picked these up off of Amazon, and I picked up the pieces for this. I'm working on right now a mock of a Delta. This is just the prototype so far, but a Delta 12 Sky Sprite.
Oh, very cool.
Do you guys know what a Delta 12 Sky Sprite is?
Of course. But why don't you go ahead and enlighten our audience, Wade?
It's essentially a two-person version of the Delta 7 Aether Sprite, which is the starfighter that we see in Attack of the Clones and a little bit of Clone Wars. Right. The Delta 12 is slightly larger and, like I said, holds two people. It was more of a passenger vehicle, like the Jedi would use it only in the EU to take around dignitaries and stuff like that. So it really doesn't have a lot of weaponry on it. But it only showed up twice in a couple of different books, these two books being some of them. So there really is very, very little reference material for me to look at when trying to build this. So it looks very flat right now because I just wanted the general shaping of it.
Yeah, right.
It's a space limo.
Yes. Yes, essentially.
Excellent.
Right on. Right on. Very cool. Very, very cool stuff. The only other thing I had to add was also, like I said, the B Wing, like DB just showed off, and I want to open it. I really want to open it, but of course the collector in me is,
Do it. Open it.
And then I was given this the other day. So
Ooh.
the Phantom shuttle. And I do believe this is the one that fits onto the Ghost.
Is it?
Yeah, I do believe so. So very tempted to open that as well to see. It shows on the back there that it fits onto the Ghost. So
Oh, you got to do it. You got to open.
and I've only got 3 ghosts in the closet, so I'm sure I can open one of them, right? But actually, we're going to give away a couple of those coming down the road. So that was what I had for Collection Corner. So Wade, it's been lovely reconnecting with you tonight. It's been awesome, and again, everybody, even if you don't live in the Chattanooga area, check out their website. Definitely show them some love. Follow them on social for sure. And Wade, why don't you kind of cover where people can find you?
So Instagram at Bam Chattanooga, TikTok at Bam Chattanooga, Facebook Bricks and Minifigs Chattanooga, and same thing with YouTube Bricks and Minifigs Chattanooga.
And then for Records of the Republic,
Twitter, Instagram, and I don't think we really haven't used Facebook anymore. So Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok Records of the Republic as well.
Right on. Right on. Well, very cool. All right, we're going to do one more thing before we get out of here tonight. Dad joke of the week. Time to annoy Scruffy and DB. Dad joke of the week. All right, dad joke of the week, courtesy of Kelly Knox's Star Wars Dad Joke book. And make sure I'm queued up for the horn thing at the end. My old Jedi Master is a Force ghost now. I realized it the second he walked through my door.
DB, do you get it?
That was Dad Joke of the Week Now don't you feel absolutely complete? All right, Dad Joke of the Week.
Boo.
And a final comment from Unboxing. Good show, guys. Thanks for tuning in, Unboxing. Appreciate it. Definitely follow him on YouTube. He does a lot of unboxing videos. His collection probably puts us to shame in terms of he is constantly unboxing stuff. And so definitely give way to follow for sure. Follow Bricks and Minifigs. Also follow Records of the Republic. And well, thanks again, Wade, for joining us tonight.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, right on. So with that, we're going to get out of here for the night. So guys, have a great night. And thanks for, this is Brown Leader signing off for the crew. And you have been listening and watching Hyperspace Heroes. That's no moon.
Was it good for you?